Hi everyone and welcome back to SanaA's garden, and welcome if you're new here. I hope you all are doing great and staying safe. So in this video I am doing the very popular winter sowing or the milk jug planting. I will also be sharing all the tips that I found useful that will make this project easy and avoid a lot of mess. So first let's discuss what is a winter sowing. So winter sowing is a method of starting seeds outdoors in winter. This is generally done with the seeds that require a period of cold stratification, and this method takes advantage of the natural temperatures rather than artificially refrigerating the seeds. So winter sowing involves sowing the seeds in a miniature greenhouse outside during the winter, allowing them to germinate in spring. If you may ask why consider winter sowing, there are a lot of advantages to it. Firstly, it is a very simple and efficient method of growing from seed. And secondly, you do not need to have to run grow lights for weeks at a time when starting seeds indoors. You do not need to worry about having leggy seedlings because they are planted and grown outdoors. And also there is no need to harden off the seedlings as they are already acclimated to outdoor conditions and they are ready to plant whenever the outside temperature has sufficiently warmed. It allows for someone who does not have enough space for grow light setup nor the windows to start the seeds outdoors successfully. So this is my first try at this process and I have waited enough time before posting it so that I can be assured that this is working for me. So let's get straight into the process. My first tip before you even start to do the actual sowing is just get ready with all the seeds that you want to sow. Write all the seed names on the labels. Write multiple labels if you will be planting more than one container of the single variety of seed. I'm using this a Sharpie. It is a laundry marker. I have used this before in my garden and it does not wash off. I also have these plastic plant labels. These are white and I have had them for very long time and they work absolutely fine. To make your very own miniature greenhouse, rinse out the milk jug or any container you're using. Cut the jug horizontally just below the handle level, working your way around the circumference. Leave the handle side of the jug intact so it can act as a hinge to open the top of the jug. So what containers can you use for winter sowing? Any container that is translucent enough to allow light to pass through it and that can be made to have drainage holes and a ventilation hole can be used for winter sowing. So basically any plastic jug or bottle like the milk jug, water jugs or soda bottles, or even the plastic takeaway containers which has the transparent lid at the top of it, so it should be able to allow light to pass through it, and you should be able to make the drainage holes at the bottom of the container. And I think the plastic totes, the storage containers, also work really nicely if you are going to do a very huge load of seeds like onions or garlic or carrots. I'm also labeling the milk jug itself. This will avoid any confusion and mixing up later on. Now that all the labeling is done, I am making the drainage holes at the bottom of the jugs by using this X-Acto knife. So until now all the nice and clean job is done. So now coming to the messy part, I'm using a multi-purpose compost to plant all the seeds. I'm not using a seed starting mix or anything like that. So I have sifted this multi-purpose compost to remove all the chunks and bark chips or any chunky material from the compost. So I have put this in a tub and I'm just moistening the compost just until it is wet but not dripping wet. So when I make a ball out of it, it should hold its shape but it should not drip water. So that's what the consistency we are looking for. So I'm using a very little water at a time to moisten the compost, and once I feel like it can hold the shape, it should not be dripping wet. Just keep that in mind and it's good to go. So once I was satisfied with the consistency of the compost, I filled up all my milk jugs with the compost, about 4 inches in it. So I did one thing at a time, labeling at one time, cutting all the milk jugs at one time, making drainage holes at one time, and then making the compost ready at one time, and filling up all the jugs at one time. So when I was starting to actually sow the seeds, I was with clean hands, very focused, holding the label and holding my seed packet, and just holding that single container with the name of that seed, so there was no confusion and no mixing up happening there. One thing I really appreciate about winter sowing is that it is such a nice way to repurpose and recycle any plastic containers, be it milk jugs or water jugs or juice jugs or anything, and make them your own miniature greenhouses that allow the seeds to germinate several weeks ahead of sowing. It is just amazing. So with the winter sowing, you do not need to water. The water from the rain or snow or condensation is just enough for the seeds to keep growing until the weather really warms up. Plant the seeds according to the package instructions, and you can also add a layer of vermiculite. It helps to retain moisture. Keep checking your containers regularly, and if the temperatures dip, you may want to cover the jugs with a blanket at night and water the seedlings if the soil feels dry to touch. And if the temperatures go below 10 to 16 degrees centigrade, especially if it is sunny, remove the tops of the jug so that the seedlings will not fry, and it will keep a good air circulation. I think once the weather starts to warm up a little bit in the spring, it's nice to take off the tops, and only if the temperatures are dipping really low in the night, it's good to cover them with a blanket or a fleece or something. Once I'm done sowing all the seeds, I am using this clear packing tape. I think it is a waterproof tape, to seal all the containers nicely. So once all this is done, just keep your milk jugs in a sunny position and let the time take its own course. So that's it for this video. I hope you all really enjoyed watching it and got some tips from it. I hope that this video inspired you to get something done in your garden today, and my next video will be an update on my milk jug planting, so please be on a lookout for it. Thanks for watching. Bye.